ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the MylesHighClub Podcast, episode number 4. I am your host, Myles, and welcome to the Halloween special. Depending on how good my editing skills are, I'll try throw some thunder or something in there. Yes, it's a Halloween special, and I am dressed in my everyday clothes. Quick story before we get into all the topics that everyone gave me on my Instagram. I was going to buy a Black Panther costume off Amazon, but because of the whole pandemic going on and the fact that there's nothing to do this Saturday when it's actually Halloween, I said to myself, I'm not going to spend £35 on a costume that I'm only going to wear once for an hour and a half while I'm recording this. So I was like, didn't get it. And then I went out today, the day I'm recording, I went down to Merry Hill, local shopping centre, went to a Halloween store they've got there. They had a Black Panther costume and it was £60. And then they had a Deadpool costume, but that was £50. So I was like, you know what? Forget it. My one rule when it comes to Halloween costumes is you either go all in or nothing. So guys, I have gone for nothing today. But as I mentioned, this is the Halloween special. So I did put out a poll earlier today on my Instagram asking for topics, what people want to hear discussed. So I have a bunch of topics here, all Halloween related. So let's get straight in. So the first one I got is, do you think you would last in a horror movie slasher? So they've specifically put slasher in there. So I myself made sure I got a list of horror movie slashers. I got a list of horror movie slashers up, and I'm going to go through what I believe are the popular franchises when it comes to Halloween horror slasher, or mainly slasher movies anyway. So number 1 is Scream. If you've never seen Scream, if you've seen Scary Movie, you've pretty much seen Scream. But Scream is about, I don't want to give away spoilers. Scream came out, I'm sure, nearly 20 years ago now. So Scream is about who you believe someone in a mask and a long black coat. You know the face for Scream, it's the long white mask. He goes around killing a bunch of high school people. And then it turns out it's not one person, it's actually 2 people that are dressing up as the same guy, which is how they can always get between different places. I'm sure there's a reason behind it, like someone's mum had an affair with someone's dad and it broke up the family. It's a good film, don't get me wrong. Scream 1 and Scream 2. Scream 3, Scream 4, no. But yeah, Scream 1 and 2, definitely good. Would I survive Scream? Yes. Now, I'm not a boxer, an MMA fighter. I'm not someone that claims that they can fight. But when it comes to Scream, there is no supernatural process happening there. It's just another human being coming at you with a knife. I'm brave. I feel like, 1, if you've got a knife, I'm not going to fight you, I'm going to run. It's just simple as that. And 2, they're humans, and if you watch Scream, they're not the smartest or the most like delicate. They're quite clumsy at times. I feel like I could hold my own in Scream. I feel like I could handle myself and handle 1 or 2 of them. Even the fights, get my own knife, and then it's game on. So Scream, I am surviving. What's next? Halloween. So Halloween's Mike Myers. No. This is a tricky question. It depends. If Mike Myers is coming, because he only goes for, I think it's his sister. Why he kills random people, I'm still not too sure. I might have missed something in one of the movies, but his main goal, when he's a kid, he kills his family, or he kills his mum, stepdad, and I think a little sibling. Depends what Halloween movie you've watched. Then he gets locked up and then he breaks free so many years later and then goes back to kill his sister. So, 1, I'm not too sure if I would even have like a friendship or relationship with someone whose brother's a known psychopath. Like, oh, your brother killed people when he's a kid. Oh, and he's escaped. Yeah, just DM me when he's been caught. I'm not hanging around. But if Mike Myers is after me, I'm sure he's got superhuman strength and he can just appear out of nowhere. I don't know how he does it, but like you'll leave him in the house, jump in the car, drive down the street, and then you look in your rearview mirror and then he's just sat there behind you and then boom, straight for your back. And Mike Myers ain't one of the ones that plays games either. He's not gonna like catch you and take you somewhere. It's on site with him. So, and he's strong, like strong. I ain't been gym properly in years. So Scream, it's against me, I'm afraid. What else have we got? Child's Play, Chucky. That's a slasher film. Chucky, what is he? He's a doll that gets possessed by a murderous spirit. I'm surviving it. Main reason, one of the first words I said, he's a doll. It's a toy. He's He's a plastic teddy bear. I know that doesn't make sense because plastic and teddy bear. Shut up. It's my podcast. He's a plastic teddy bear. I will football punt that little shit if he comes too close to me. Like, imagine you wake up in the middle of the night, there's a doll on top of you. You throw the doll, you run downstairs. Now, in my house, I've got laminate. And you can tell I've thought about all these kinds of things before if I ever need to escape from someone. Run downstairs into my kitchen, washing up liquid, and then quickly run to the door and squirt the out of the floor. I don't know why I just shushed myself. Squirt the shit out of the floor. Boom. Now it's Slippy. I'm in the kitchen, 2 knives up. As soon as I hear his pitter-patter, he's going to slide straight into me, off, boom, boom, rip his arms off, rip his legs off, rip his head off, turn the oven on, fan oven, so you know it gets extra hot. Turn it onto the fan, all the way up to 250 or max, I can't remember what my oven is. Put him in there, and I'm not one of these stupid people in horror movies that's gonna put him in there and then walk off and go to bed. No. I'm gonna put him in there, I'm gonna leave him in there, and I will stand there for a good hour and just watch him cook and melt and dissolve, and then unhook the oven, throw the whole thing away. In my head, I've survived. He's a melted doll, he can't come back, and he can't come back, so what's the score? So far it's 2-1 to me. Cabin in the Woods. I can't say, listen, I'm not one of these black people that's like, yo, you ain't gonna catch me in the woods. No, I've been to cabins before. Cabins probably some of the funniest things you can do with the right people. But Cabin in the Woods, they're unexpected. They get drugged. It's cheating. Like, they put the thing in the air to make the woman stupid, to make that blonde more of a bimbo. They're all mythical creatures coming after you. With Cabin in the Woods, it depends what comes after me. But if I stick with the film, that little zombie family thing, they don't kill the other stoner. So I feel like I could handle them. I wouldn't ride the bike. So I wouldn't be that white guy that rides the Thor. That white guy. I wouldn't be, he's not called Thor. What's he called? Chris Hemsworth. I wouldn't be Chris Hemsworth's character when he rides the bike off the cliff into the wire. I wouldn't be the girl that was having sex in the woods because we've got a cabin. Why am I going outside to have sex in woods for? On the floor? It's dirty, man. Cabin in Woods, I feel like I would survive the first 2/3 of the film. So if you've seen the film, you know what I'm on about. The bit where you're in the cabin. You see when that shit goes left, I don't know if I would have thought to have gone in the room and hit all the buttons. I might have been like, let's not hit all the buttons because that means that we don't know what we're releasing into here. How they survive. And, well, if you've seen the ending, you've seen the ending. But yeah, so Cabin in the Woods, I'm surviving the first 2/3 of the film. After that, I think I'm going to die. Just being honest. Ooh, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. Yeah, no one's gonna. You can't survive. It's in your dreams. You can't. You can try and keep yourself awake, but if you've seen all the movies, they try everything to keep themselves awake. Anyone that's watching this now is probably laughing at the thought of me trying to keep myself awake. So I can't keep myself awake at the best of times. I have fell asleep on this sofa. Don't ask me what I was doing, but I fell asleep on this sofa in my cold ass garage. I will fall asleep anywhere. Freddy's, I'm easy pickings for Freddy. First movie, but guys, we can't fall asleep. Next thing you know, head off. Myles is dead. So yeah, I've lost that one. Saw. Saw stresses me out. My thing with Saw is, I'm not that paranoid to notice a guy in a pig mask either sneaking around my house or running up on me in a car park and throwing me in the boot of a car. So I feel like I would get captured and put in one of the traps. If it's one of the early ones, so like if it's Saw 1 or 2, when you can actually escape from the traps, when they're fair traps, I say fair, but they're as fair as in terms of you do this and you will survive. Yeah, after Saw 3 onwards, I'm sure the whole point of it is they're corrupt and they don't make traps that you can survive, so no one would survive Saw. The original Saws, depends what I've got to do. What is one of them? Ain't one of them where the woman's got to cut someone open? Listen. Yeah, let me tell you something. One of them, I swear it's Saw 1 or 2, it's Amanda. She says that her boyfriend's got a key in him and she has to cut him open to take the key out, to take the thing off, otherwise it's going to rip her jaw off. Listen, I'm cutting you open. As soon as the tape went, Myles, do you want to play a game? On the floor is such and such with a key in his stomach. There is a knife to the left of you. All right, got it. Pause. Don't need to hear any more of that tape. Yo, wait right there. Shink. Take it out. Boom. Gone. There's another one. What are the other ones? Come on, guys, let's think. There's the other ones. Is that the guy? I don't know what he is. I think he's a fat guy, and he's in like a barbed wire cage, and he's got to crawl out of the box. I'm shit with pain. Listen, I won't walk in a bush to get like a football out of the bush because there's nettles. So barbed wire. There's another one where the guy's got to stab a key. He's got a key behind his eyeball, so he's got to get his. And I know what you're saying. I think the same thing. I'm like, yo, it's either this or you're dead. I would rather have one eye than die. But the fact that you've got to do it yourself, and imagine if you fuck up and just, and you only get a minute to do these things. If I stab myself, it's going to take me 30 seconds to actually chalk up to putting something in my eye. Then I'm going to cry for another 30 more seconds. So I've just stabbed myself in my eye. Minute up, jaw gone, game over. Game over, fuck saw. I feel like I'm a good enough human being that I wouldn't end up in. I'm watching my garage door in case someone in a pig mask jumps in. I feel like I'm good enough person to just avoid the whole saw thing altogether. But boom, let's keep it moving. Final destination. I'm only going to do a few more. Don't worry, I'm not just going to go through this all for the whole video. Final destination is there a way to survive? If I'm on, let's go for number one. If I was on a plane and if my friend jumps up off this plane and is like, yo, the plane's gonna blow up, and he just gets off the plane. It depends, where are we going? You know what I mean? Where are we going? Because I don't know if it's true or not. He might be high, he might be drunk, he might have had a bad dream. I don't know why he's saying this. So to me, where am I going? How much did I pay for this holiday or trip away? Because that might factor whether or not I'm gonna get off with him, or if I'd be one of the people that stayed on there, blew up, and then wasn't chased by death. But no one survives Final Destination. I'm trying to find some really good ones. Other slashers. I'm at the end of my list anyway, so I'm going to go back up and make some. Texas Chainsaw. Okay, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've got a chance. I've got a strong chance to survive, only because those freaks they're not on site. They're not going to kill you straight away. They're like, beat you over the head and then drag you back to the house and pin you up. See, they're getting pinned up on hooks. Like, you know, when they put like the meat hooks in like your pecs, so you can't even pull yourself. I'd wallow in self-pity. I just wallow in self-pity. I don't know what you could do. But if I managed to get myself off those meat hooks or freed myself, I'm in their house. You got two options. This is what I say to myself, like, yo, you got two options. You can either try sneak your way out, or just hope for the best, gung-ho, even though I don't have no guns, and just go. Just make as much noise as possible, just go. Someone jumps out in front of you, body check, right shoulder, sit them down. But then there's booby traps all around the house, and I want to have faith in myself and say I would survive. Whether that's actually true or not is... Yeah, whether that's true or not it's a difficult question. And the last one I'm going to look for. Oh, I don't know if this is a slasher, but I'm going to say it anyway. Hostel. Would I survive Hostel? I'm trying to think of how Hostel happens. But because at first I'm thinking they only go for women, so I would survive. But I swear in the movie there's men in there as well. First things first is, would I stay at a hostel? Purely because of the film Hostel. There's no way of like, because of the film Hostel, until I think 2 years ago when I went to Barcelona, I've never stayed in a hostel ever. I didn't care that they used to be like £10 a room, £8 a room. I never stayed in a hostel. I thought everything I saw in that film was true. I thought there were secret cameras everywhere. I thought I was going to get kidnapped and put in some weird freak show, game show, or just be tortured. But so no, I never stayed in a hostel. I just didn't trust it. Stayed in a hostel in Barcelona where I had my own room. It was like a shared bathroom, but I had my own room. The room had a door lock. I was that paranoid. I was actually very tempted in the middle of the night to just, cause it was a little light bed. I was tempted to pull the bed in front of the door and then sleep that way, which meant if anyone tried to break down the door, they weren't getting in. That's how seriously I took it. I didn't, and I'm still here, so I didn't go through that. But there you go. You guys comment in the video, message me on Instagram, let me know, do you think you would survive a horror movie slasher? I feel like I would, as long as there's nothing supernatural. If it's like a normal slasher where it's just like a human, or a slightly, I don't know, I need to start saying the right words. inbred human, anything where it's another human, I feel like I've got a good chance. I'm not going to check out what the mysterious noise is. I can run without falling over. I feel like, I don't know how high my intelligence level is, but I feel like my common sense intelligence is up there. Like I feel like I have a lot of common sense, or I'm surrounded by people with very little common sense, and it just makes me feel like I have a lot of common sense, whereas really I might just have like the average volume of common sense, if I'm making sense to everyone listening right now. Right, let's keep it moving. Next topic was ghosts. I don't want to talk about this. Right, I'm one of these people that, as far as I'm aware, I've never seen a ghost. I've never interacted with a ghost. Nothing's ever happened where I've thought to myself, yo, that's a ghost. I know people that said that they've seen things, that they've lived in a haunted house, that they've but they've seen family members at the edge of their bed. Good for them. I take everything that I see in movies as gospel truth. So when it comes to things like ghosts, demons, spirits, evil entities, I think it's in Paranormal Activity they talk about the more attention you pay to it, the worse it gets. So I feel like if I just ignore these things, I should be good. Also, my house isn't built on, as far as I'm aware, it's not built on any sort of burial ground, sacred burial ground or graveyard. So my house isn't haunted. I haven't, no one in my house, no one in my family has ever dabbled with, I'm aware of again, has never dabbled with like magic or Ouija boards or anything that would piss off a ghost to make them want to come back and haunt me or haunt the family. I don't think my mum or dad made a deal with the devil and was like, yo, we'll give you our first son. It's all sorts of things like that. The question is, do I believe in ghosts? I don't think I do. I'm up for a conversation. I'm not calling people liars. If you say you've seen something, then I just got to take your word for it that you've said you've seen something. I believe in aliens more than ghosts. Take that as you will. I don't know how you take it, but take that as you will. I believe in aliens more than ghosts. I've seen neither of them. Have seen more evidence of aliens. Nah, I don't know, but I feel like because I've seen videos of something in the sky, and there's things like Area 51, I can believe in aliens more. Have you ever watched those ghost programs? Listen, I don't know what they're called. You watch the ghost programs where they just walk around the dark with a night vision camera and one of those fucking indicator things that goes off. And then they'll be like, hello. And then like every 17th episode, you'll hear someone go, boop. And they're like, oh my God, it's the angel. It's the ghost of the angel of the north. And I'm just like, yo, but yes, so ghosts, for me, I don't know. I'm going to say I don't believe. I hope this doesn't listen, if this triggers something now, I'm holding you responsible because you're watching this. Otherwise you wouldn't have sent me a comment of what to talk about. So if I get possessed or anything, I'm not dealing with it. I had this conversation the other day with someone actually. Think of like Paranormal Activity. I want everyone to imagine now, whether you've got a significant other or not. So I want to imagine you're in a house. It's just you, your significant other, your baby. And are you married? Yeah, you're married. And the house is haunted. Straight away, as soon as I have enough evidence to say, okay, the house is haunted, it's not just the creaky floorboards, I'm out. Okay? I am out. We're all gone and out till we can try and figure this out. I'm going to go speak to as many people as I can to find out about the house. I might ask my family to make sure it's not me. Speak to the other person. And I know it doesn't happen in Paranormal Activities, but if I found out my significant other, the mother of my child, was cursed to be possessed or cursed to take our son, I'd just be like, so let me just get it clear. It's you thereafter. Yeah. And from there, like, I'm not even going to kick you out. I feel like you've got enough to deal with. I'm not going to kick you out. I'm going to remove myself from that toxic situation. I don't need that in my life. No one needs a haunting. Have you seen these haunted movies? Listen, that's a question later on talking about scary movies. We'll get into all those kind of movies. But yeah, ghost. This person says ghost they can deal with. I've never encountered a ghost. I've never seen anything ghostly. I've had things fall off my door, but I just feel like I didn't put it up there properly. So that, for me, I say I don't believe in ghosts. Although I am willing to talk to people to find out about them. Next topic is trick or treating, and this person, Jade, felt to let me know, don't knock my fucking door. Listen, so aggressive. But trick or treating, I don't I don't get it. I don't understand trick-or-treating. I don't get it. It looks fun, but it's an age limit thing. Kids only. I was one of those kids where it's not that I wasn't allowed to trick-or-treat. It's just that my mom was never going to take me trick-or-treating. Like, my mom was not going to walk out the house in the dark and cold and walk up and down the street knocking on strangers' doors. And that's exactly what she told me. You're going to go knock on strangers' doors and beg for food. So I was just like, okay, Mom. I used to have to wait. People at school talk about if they were going trick-or-treating, ask them what time, where they're going trick-or-treating, ask anyone if they had a spare mask. Again, my mom don't care about trick-or-treating, so I can't say, Mom, buy me a costume. So I'm like, you know those kids that get everything? For all those listening to the podcast, I'm just staring at the camera in disgust. Because there were some kids, I'm not even going to get into this, I'm triggered now. But some kids got everything, so I was like, you got everything. Give me a little sum up for the night. So then that's what I would do. Go trick-or-treating, get as many sweets as you can, eat them all. As a kid, it's fantastic. As an adult, unless you're one of these adults that's, I'm talking like you're so into Halloween, you're going to dress up your house purely for trick-or-treaters, I don't get trick-or-treating. I'm not against it, I just don't get trick-or-treating. I didn't even think to look up why we do trick-or-treating. I also don't know what the trick is. So, because the kid would knock your door and say trick or treat. So if I said, no one ever said trick to me or says treat, they just open to give you the sweets or they don't come to the door. So if I knock your door and say trick or treat and you say treat, I'm assuming you can give me some sweets or chocolate. But if I knock the door and you say trick, are you telling me you're going to trick me? Have I got to trick you? Is that why people get eggs thrown at their doors? Is that how Knock Door Run started? I have so many questions about trick or treat, and it's really not worth it when you think about what trick or treat is. Just knocking someone's door, taking a stick. Now, the whole knocking a stranger's door and just taking whatever they offer you, yeah, I can see, nowadays, I can see why that would be suspicious. I feel like when I'm 27, so I feel like 20 years ago, you didn't have to worry about some weirdo like rubbing his balls all over your sweets or putting something in the sweets, like injecting them with shit or making his own weird ass sweets. I think it was just like multi-pack of Mars bars and Kit Kats, and I was pissed when I got Snickers. I don't feel like you should get, I don't like nuts, so apart from hazelnuts, because I like Kinder Bueno, but I don't, peanuts, salted nuts, cashew nut, elephant nut, if it, any kind of peanuts and nuts I do not like. So I think it's pretty selfish that people give out nuts for Halloween, considering, not just for me, but considering the nut allergy is like, it's very popular, and they say 1 in 6 people has a nut allergy. Again, I made that up, but you see how quick you were to believe me? This is why you should do your own research, but we're gonna stick with that because it makes my story better. 1 in 6 people have a nut allergy, and you're just out there just handing out peanuts and mixing all the peanuts with other chocolate. It's selfish. You know how many kids you've probably murdered if you or your household was giving out peanuts? You need to take a look in a long look in the mirror, people, and realize what you're giving out to these kids. But yeah, trick-or-treating, I don't have an opinion. Kids, go for it. Double check what you're eating. Make sure there's no holes or it's not been previously unwrapped. Smell it, like I said, in case someone has been wiping their balls or doing something weird to the chocolate. And don't walk in anyone's house. I feel like as a parent and as an uncle to a niece and nephews, I should tell people, if you leave your kids to go trick-or-treating, I feel like you should tell them, stay outside the house. Come in to get some more. I've got more treats here. Oh, can you help me get these? Nope, none of that. You stand on the doorstep, and not even so close that they can snatch you. Like they'd have to step out there. Like you just stay there, knock the door, step back a bit, trick or treat. No one comes, bounce. One thing I don't like is you double knockers. I was never a double knocker. Knocking your door, ringing your bell. If you don't come to the door after like 15 seconds, I'm bouncing, because there's other houses I know from last year that are either going to give me sweets or might throw me a couple pound coins my way. So quick knock, no one answers, move. Double knockers, you're irritating. You're the kind of people that ruin Halloween for others. Right. I think that's enough for trick-or-treating. I don't know if adults can trick-or-treat. I feel like I'd be scared. I don't know if I'd open my door. Like, I've got a Ring doorbell. I shouldn't have said that. I've got a smart doorbell. Like I said, until I get paid by someone, I ain't saying no brand names. Oh shit, I said Snickers earlier. Yo, Marge, you owe me money. But I have a smart doorbell, so when my door rings, it pops up to my smart home device in my house, and I can just say, smart thing, show me the front door. And if I did that and saw like fully grown adults in the scary ass Halloween costumes or dressed up, imagine Halloween, you're minding your business, the doorbell goes, and you either look for your peephole or you look at the window, you walk up to the door, you look in your camera, and it's just 4 fully grown adults stood there in a purge mask. No, sorry. I feel, once you hit like 13, that's when trick-or-treating should stop. 13, 14, that's when you're still a kid, but you're growing out of your kid phase. That's when it should stop. I don't want to see a bunch of 16 to 21-year-olds knocking doors and just putting their hood up saying trick-or-treats. Go to the shop, you bum. You ain't gonna be knocking people's doors for treats. That's for kids. Adults, I just don't think it'd be safe. I'm not answering the door. I don't know who would answer the door. Adults can't trick-or-treat. Sorry for any adults out there that were like waiting for my authority onto whether or not you're allowed to trick or treat, but yeah, the MylesHighClub has spoken. Ideas for a lockdown Halloween. Listen, I wish I had some. I haven't been invited anywhere. I haven't seen anything on social media about what people are planning to do. I feel like it's just it's either, I don't know, wear a mask, dum-dum. That was a really bad joke. I might edit that out of the podcast. But yeah, you're wearing a mask, that's what people would say. So I don't see why you can't do a house party. I wouldn't go to a house party. You're meant to be dressed up as an infected person, not actually be an infected person. And God knows who's got it, how you know if they've got it, what it does when you do get it. Ain't got it, don't want it, don't need it. So I guess you can do like, you should do a Halloween quiz. There you go. Anyone that when we first had the proper lockdown, I did a few quizzes with a bunch of my friends. I saw a lot of people doing quizzes. Quizzes are fun. Do a Halloween quiz. You tell people, yo, everyone turn your cameras on. Everyone dress up. We're going to do a Halloween quiz. Take as long as you want. Our quizzes used to take, it feels like 2-3 hours to get through the quiz, but that's because we used to fuck around half the time. But there you go. That's one idea. Zoom Halloween. Do a Halloween themed quiz. Everyone dresses up on camera. Every time you get an answer wrong, you take a shot of something dark and you just do a quiz. That's the best idea I can think of. And I know it's not as engaging. You don't get to see the effort people have gone to, unless you're looking, if you're willing to get up close and personal with someone, go out. I've never been a fan of going out, so like going to like a nightclub or a club for Halloween. It's just like, what I don't like it. But house parties or like a private function, amazing. Some of the best Halloween parties I've been to have been at a house party or have been at a private function. Few, limited amount of people. Everyone's all dressed up. The house is usually dressed up like it's Halloween. You can't beat a good Halloween house party. So if you're willing, throw a Halloween house party. If you know someone that's throwing a Halloween house party, go. Like I said, wear a mask under your mask. Take hand sanitizer. Go as a doctor and just take hand sanitizer. There you go, guys. That's going to be so rinsed. That's going to be rinsed. I think, like how how something happens in pop culture, it usually gets rinsed. So like, was it 2-3 years ago? I need to say Justice League. Suicide Squad came out. I'm going to bring race into this, guy. I saw black people dressed up like Harley Quinn, but not every female, but every female dressed up like Harley, like some version of Harley Quinn, whether it was the movie version, the comic book versions. Harley Quinn got rinsed. And then when Black Panther came out, every black person and their uncle, aunt, well, they would be black, wouldn't they? So every black person dressed up as Black Panther, Shuri, Okoye, M'Baku. Everyone dressed African for Halloween, I feel like. So I feel like this year is the year of the pandemic. Doctors, nurses, zombies, gas masks, quarantine, all that kind of, that's going to be in. Throw a quarantine. Oh, they fucking genius. And if I had the money and the wherewithal to actually do this, that you go. Quarantine, you do a quarantine Halloween party. You either come as the infected, you come dressed as the infected doctor, infected nurse. You could be someone in a hazmat suit. Listen, that idea right there is money. And if you see it anywhere, it's because someone's obviously watched this and told someone, or they've done it themselves. This drops on Thursday, so 2 days before Halloween. So it's a bit of a rush, but anyone thinks of any dope Halloween ideas, or if you're doing anything dope for Halloween, drop it in the comments, especially if there's an invite there. I'll come along, talk about it on my next podcast. Famous now, got a few views. But yeah, I haven't got that many ideas for a Halloween lockdown. The quiz, I'd say the quiz is number one. You keep away from people, but you're still with people. And then quarantine lockdown party, house party, or private function like a social club or a church. Do people throw Halloween parties at church? Again, I haven't gone anywhere. If you're listening to the podcast, I'm just sat here now trying to think. If people throw Halloween parties in church. 2, are you allowed to throw a Halloween party in church? 3, would you have a strict dress code? Like, can devils enter the church? I'm not taking the piss either, if anyone's Christian and getting triggered by this. This is a genuine question. If you go church, or you went church as a kid, did you have Halloween parties? If you did have Halloween parties, was there like a strict dress code? Like, the devil may not enter. No demons. Do you everyone have to dress up like Jesus and angels and animals? I want to Google it. Not now. I want to do it on my own time. I'm going to Google Halloween in churches and see what happens. So what else we talk about? Scary movies. It is Halloween, so why not we talk about scary movies? Mainly because I don't watch them. Not anymore. I think me and one of my best friends, we went for a stint where any horror movie that came out, me and Oscar, so shout out Oscar, new father, baby soon born. Yeah, we used to go and watch, I think we watched The Conjuring, we watched Sinister, I don't know why I've tried to, Annabelle, or one of them Annabelles. Is that Conjuring? See, ever since, it's Marvel, I can't blame I'm not blaming Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. No, or Harry Potter started off the 8 movies. Harry Potter's to blame if you want to blame anyone that's adapted a book into a film and split one book into 2. Because Harry Potter did that with the Deathly Hallows. It's one book, but they did part 1 and 2. And then Twilight did it with Breaking Dawn. The Divergent series did it. The Hobbit did it. The Hobbit split one book into 3 movies, so that's new. The second movie was based off 1 chapter. So I can't blame Harry Potter for that. You've got to blame Marvel. I'm getting lost here, but I blame Marvel for what Annabelle, Conjuring and all that did. They've tried to build some sort of horror cinematic universe. Because I'm sure the first film that came out, I think it was a Conjuring. And there was like 2 of them. It's where the little boy falls asleep and then goes into a plane and then he's in a coma and no one knows what's happening and all the demons trying to get in his body and there's weird things happening. And turns out his dad was stalked as a kid by the nun. Yes, it's the Conjuring because no. The Conjuring's with the nun. And Annabelle, oh my life. As you can tell, 1, I don't watch horror movies anymore. 2, it's been a long, long time since I watched them. Horror movies, I don't watch I don't know what you call them, the slashers, which is like your Jason, your Friday the 13th, your Nightmare on Elm Street, your Halloweens, your Chuckies, all those kind of the slashers with the knives, and it's just a lot of body counts. It's a lot of jump scares, sneaking around, killing one person or a family of people, killing a bunch of other people. Nice and simple. It could happen. That's not why I think they're scary. I don't think they're scary. I don't think slashers are scary at all, to be fair. There's jump scares. Didn't see you jump out of the wardrobe there. But it's when you're watching it, you're not scared. It's more of a, he's in there, don't go in there, turn around. Why are you walking so quietly? Turn your flashlight off, they're going to see the light coming. You're not hidden if you've got your light on, which annoys me in movies. But slashers, I will still watch. I think I watched the most recent Halloween. Yeah, I did. I watched the most recent Halloween. I watched the most recent Friday the 13th, which was years ago now, and I'm sure they're looking to do another one. I watched the Wes Craven one for all the horror movie fans out there. So slashers, I'll watch a slasher. Slashers don't scare me. They don't bother me. I never turn it off and think to myself, what about if there's someone in my wardrobe and I go back to bed? Slashers, I fuck with. I'm good with them. The ones I mentioned earlier, so like the anything with ghosts, possessions, hauntings, exorcists, them things get me every single time. And I'm one of these idiots that a horror movie would come out. Sinister, no. Insidious. It's Insidious that's linked with... and Insidious is linked with a nun, and then Conjuring is linked with Annabelle. I think that's the way it goes. But yeah, them movies, I piss myself off every single time because I'll see the movie come out and be like, oh, it's a horror, it's going to scare me. I'm not one of these people that's going to act like I don't get scared. I will get scared. If I go to the cinema, if we went to the cinema to watch a horror, I guarantee you'll see me jump out my seat once. You'll see me look away at least once. You might catch me doing something like this, where I'm pretending to look, or I'll be doing something like this, where I pretend to look at someone or look at something to avoid watching the screen. I fall for them every single time. I fall for all the jump scares. Whenever someone's walking around and it's a ghost, you don't know where they're coming from, they get me. Insidious? If you've never seen Insidious, watch Insidious. I thought that was good. There's one scene where they're all sat at the table in the kitchen or dining room and they're talking, and the camera's flashing back between this man and woman. And it flashes to the woman and it's just her head, flashes back to the man. And then when it flashes back to the woman, there's a demon right behind her head here. When I tell you, I jumped out of my fucking seat watching that. That shit scared me. And then there's the bit where they go into the unknown or the upside down, Stranger Things. They go somewhere and they walk down the stairs and it's that song, tiptoe through the window, by the window. I'm going to stop because some people might generally turn off the podcast because I don't find that song freaky, but I understand why people do find that song freaky. And the song stops and then it goes, Daddy's looking at us. And then when you look up, the thing's just there staring at him and it run. I hate horror. I hate horrors. I can't do it. Call me what you want. I don't care. Fuck y'all. But I hate those kind of horrors. Paranormal Activity. Because I was young when the first Paranormal Activity came out. Went cinema to watch it with a few friends. And it did that fucking horror movie thing where it comes up at the start saying, this is based on a true story. Now, as a kid or as a young impressionable teenager, when I hear based on a true story, I think this is a real story. In my head, because there was no professional looking shots, everything looked like it was shot from a CCTV camera. In my head, it was all real. Everything was real. As soon as it started, I didn't think to myself, how did they get the footage? How did they know where to find the footage? I told myself it was all real. When shit just went left, and it's something you can't see. That's another thing that gets me. When you can't see it, but like, she just gets yanked out of bed and she's getting yanked down the stairs. And he's running after her and the door's locked and he can't get in. Oh my gosh. The stress. At least with a slasher, I can see whatever it is coming at me. I can try and make a plan. I can run. With them ghosts, there's what's the one? There's another one where there's a woman whose mum is locked up in a mental institute and she's got like the cross in her lip and she was possessed and she's trying to find out about it, and they break someone out and try and run into a church and they just get blown back and then the demon caused them to crash the car at the end. No, it's just so much stress, and it always comes about from someone fucking around with something they shouldn't be. It always happens in horror movies. It gets me so mad. You know, when I moved into this house, when I was clearing stuff away, not that I saw anything that looked like if I opened it, it might cause me to become haunted. But if I moved into the house and found anything like a weird looking box or a chest, I'm not looking in there. Leave it closed. Just pick it up, put it outside, take it to the tip, take it to an antique shop or a charity shop. That is someone else's problem. Although I do feel like if you had something that was haunted or could cause a haunting and you gave it to a charity shop, you should be arrested. That's fucked up. Think about it. Like, you know, all these people out there that are like, oh, my man, I don't want to trigger anyone, but like, oh, my nan died in the house wearing this nightie and we see this nightie float out of the wardrobe. Burn the nightie. Burn. There shouldn't be a story. It should be this one time I seen this nightie and then we burnt the house down. That simple. Claim on your insurance. Do something. If you give it away if you keep it, stupid, give it away to a charity shop or give it away to someone else for them to be haunted, selfish, and you haven't destroyed it, so you don't know that you might give it to someone else and then it might haunt them and then convince that person to come back and get you. So, yeah, fuck that. Is it a slasher? Because it's a demon thing, entity. It depends whether you read the book, watched the TV show, like the original film, which was a 2-part TV show, or if you've watched the new 2-part film. I didn't think it was scary in the slight. No, that's a lie. It had scary moments. There's a bit like jump scares or something runs at you, but I never felt like I was sat on the edge of my seat. Whereas I've watched some horror movies, Conjuring, Mama, oh my God, Oscar, I know Oscar watches this. Me and Oscar, me, Oscar and Reese went to watch that scene. Until you see Mama at the end, that film freaked me the fuck out. I know there's one bit as well where the woman's walking around the house and like Mama dips into the floor and all you see is her black wig and then she starts zooming around on the floor. No, that freaks me out as well. Oh, I couldn't stand that. No, horror movies. I wish I hadn't talked about this because horror movies get me. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of horror movies. I'm not a fan of like ghost walks or haunted houses. It's as simple as I'm not paying someone to scare me. Like, I'm not going to pay money to be scared. I don't understand people that enjoy being scared. It's like BDSM. I don't understand it. I like people that like pain with pleasure. Doesn't make any sense to me in the slightest. But yeah, paying for someone to scare the shit out of me, not doing it. Not doing it. I've seen, like, I'll sit there on YouTube and watch Ellen DeGeneres send her co-stars and celebrities into haunted houses. And that's America, and you know Americans are extra with everything, so that's scary. I'm not paying to walk through dark rooms for some maniac to jump out and chase me with a chainsaw. Not happening. Not happening. You know what? The only way it'll happen, I'm gonna do one of them things that YouTubers do to get stuff. If I have I aim for 1,000. 1,000's good. If I get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube by next year Halloween, I will go to anyone recommend the scariest, like the second, third scariest haunted house or walk in the UK, in England. I'm not traveling that far. Hopefully we can travel around by this time next year. If I have 1,000 YouTube subscribers by then, I will do a YouTube video of me going around a haunted house. It's going to be quick because I ain't going to walk. I am going to run, body check. I don't care if you're at work, you're trying to scare me. You get body checked, you get body checked. But I will go. So 1,000 subscribers, you can hold me to it. If I get 1,000 subscribers by next year Halloween, I will go and do one of them stupid, scary, ghost walk things. There you go. Why not do that? There's your Halloween idea. That's a social. You can socially distance doing that. I feel like a haunted house can be socially distanced. You keep all your haunted people there. You're sending people to walk in one at a time. I don't feel like you have to touch anything in there to pass anything on. Like, everyone's wearing a mask. Doesn't really matter. It adds to the effect of wearing a mask. You can act like a surgeon and do things like that. There you go. If there's your Halloween idea, go quiz, haunted house situation thing, quarantine, lockdown party, house party to get your stuff done like that. What else have we got on there? Someone said funny, scary movies. And literally they said funny, scary movies, and the only funny, scary movie I could think of was, you guessed it, scary movie. I think the first three, there's like 7 or 8 of them. There's so many. The first one is where they take the piss out of Scream, and it's the wah. That's where the whole wah. Well, I don't think that's where it came. Is that where it come from? That was a Budweiser advert, wasn't it? And then it became Scream, I think. Fuck knows. Scary movie is hilarious. It's number 2. I think number 2 might be the funniest, purely for the whole my germs and putting the food in, and then the guy with the hand comes, my germs, fucks it all up. And everyone stops eating. And when he's stuffing the turkey, and he's like, oh, you gotta get in there. Oh, I know you shouldn't judge or discriminate against anyone for any reason, but listen, anyone puts their finger or their whole fist in my chicken, I'm pissed. It has nothing to do that his hand looked like that. I think in this day and age, I don't want to get cancelled before I've even started. I'm just gonna say that. What else happens in number 2? The ghost, of course. Marlon Wayne's character starts fucking the ghost. I think everyone fucks a ghost, actually. In that one, there's a woman ghost and a male ghost. Because that crazy girl gets attached to the male ghost that's been... Scary Movie 2's got to be the funniest. Scary Movie 3 is the one with Charlie Sheen, I think. And they take the piss out of 8 Mile, and it's the aliens from... Is it Signs? It's from Signs. And at the start, his wife gets hit by a car and she's pinned to a tree, split in half. And he's like, the bottom half is still intact, and he's got like a donut and a sausage, and he's like, can I still? But yeah, no. Number two is food. Right, this one, I don't know which order to do it in, because this one came up a few times. So someone said, why do people always dress like whores? And someone else said, why do females dress like sluts and not scary? Both were women. I don't know if I meant to say females. Both were women, were ladies, I don't know what chromosome that is. Is it Y chromosome? They're women. They have, I think, I don't know. Probably. But yeah, So they wanted to know that question. And at first I was like, as a man, should I really sit here and talk about what women are wearing or what they should or shouldn't wear? So here is my thoughts. Halloween is like Christmas for adults. You see a bunch of people say this all the time. Halloween is like Christmas for adults. So the way I see it is at Christmas, if it's okay, and it seems to be okay because I don't see anyone judging, I don't see memes, I don't see statuses, I don't see anyone in uproar about it. If at Christmas time, adults can dress like kids by wearing pajamas and matching pajamas and Christmas onesies, and you can just walk around in that all day, every day around the Christmas time, then for one night in the year, I feel like someone should be able to dress up like a slutty nurse. And no, they are slutty nurses. I was going to try and defend some of the costumes where it's a slutty nurse. Some people make the effort. Some people go for like the scary and slutty look, which I have no issue with that. But my thing is, it's like, if Halloween, if you're not going to dress as someone if you're not going to dress as either someone scary or someone from a horror thriller property, then you shouldn't dress up. Like when you see people dressed up like Mario and Luigi, or they dressed up like a normal Marvel character, or your favorite TV show character, or Harry Potter, or anything like that, that's just a costume. You can do that any day of the week. However, for some reason, dressing up in costume only seems to be appropriate on Halloween. So I don't feel like you should attack people that want to dress up like sluts, because men do it as well. Men dress up like firemen. They dress up like police with their shirt open and the tight shorts. That's how men dress like sluts, I believe. They dress up like wrestlers sometimes. I was tempted to dress up like a wrestler for this, but there was no way I was sitting here in my boxers and nothing else with baby oil just shining freezing cold. Because my little heater down here I have to turn off, otherwise the mic picks it up and all you hear is I digress. I'm coming off it again. But yeah, so I don't feel like people who dress like sluts should be, I don't know what the word is, prejudged or prejudiced. What's the word? Prejudiced against? I don't know what that word is. People shouldn't be judged. If they want to dress like sluts, let them dress like sluts. Otherwise, you need to have a go at anyone that doesn't dress scary. Like if you don't dress scary, don't dress at all. That should be the rule for Halloween. Unfortunately, it's not. A bunch of people get to dress, and it's dressing up. Dressing up is fun. And one person even commented in my comments, and it was like, I like dressing up and feeling sexy. I was like, hey. I was like, that's what you have to think about. If some people, I'm saying some, I'm not saying all of them, but if some people feel like they can only feel like the one time a year when they can really get their sexy on is Halloween, get your sexy on. And another thing, this isn't an attack on women, but I think it's fair to say, hear me out now, ladies, before you attack me in my comments. I think it's fair to say that it's not just Halloween that some women dress like sluts. Okay? I have a child. I have done school runs, dropping them off and picking them up. Yeah, I've seen what some of you parents wear. Yeah, Jezebels. Shopping centres, a night out. Like I see, people be dressing like, people be dressing like they're on OnlyFans just to go to the shop. So I'm not gonna. Halloween should be the least of your. Halloween should be the time where you say to yourself, you know what, you wanna wear that mini skirt so I can literally see the bottom of your tum through the skirt. Whatever. If you want to walk out your house in pants and a bra, do you, boo. It's Halloween. It's the one time of year. I'm sure it is. If I'm wrong, someone let me know. But there probably is a national costume day or national dress up day. But no one takes that seriously. Otherwise, I feel like it'd be a big thing. But Halloween is the one type of year where if you are a massive horror fan, you get in your horror bag and you dress up scary. If you're a makeup artist or you can do makeup and you're dope, it's the one time to show off your makeup skills. I've seen people upload 17 different pictures of face paint and we're not even at Halloween yet and we can't go anywhere. But it looks dope, so you do you. Halloween's the one time of year that people get to dress up scary. It's the one time of year that people get to show off their makeup skills. Geeks are geeks. Geeks will always find a way to geek out. But again, Halloween is another time. You've seen Big Bang Theory, probably. Halloween is another time for geeks to get in their geek bag. And I'm talking full cosplay, real authentic looking Mjolnir, which is Thor's hammer that weighs like 30 kg and is actually quite heavy to pick up. Yeah, it's Halloween. You're probably thinking, of course, you're a man, Myles. You're not going to have an issue with people dressing up like sluts. Hey, I have a daughter now. And if once she hits 18, she can dress however the fuck she wants to dress. But until then, she will be dressed up as Hermione Granger or Luna Lovegood. Or hey, if she wants to be Hagrid or Ron or Harry, she can be whoever the fuck she wants within the Harry Potter universe until she's 18. Then she can do whatever she wants because I can kick her out of the house as soon as she stops wearing and loving Harry Potter. But there you go. So yeah, as to why do people dress slutty? Like I said, it's the one time of the year they get to feel sexy. And it's the one time of the year where they feel like you can dress up like a slut and you're probably not going to be noticed that much because behind you is some guy that spent £150 on makeup and prosthetics and an outfit just to steal the show. So, but you know what? It's literally as simple as that. People dress up when they go out all the time to make themselves feel sexy. So if Halloween is your excuse to go that little bit further, you want to dress up like a sexy nurse? I mean, at least some people make the effort to put some scare on it. Like they'll be like a sexy nurse with a bit of blood on them, which is accurate. There are nurses in the world. I assume there are sexy nurses in the world. And I assume that at some point in their career, a sexy nurse has got blood on them. So I don't see the issue with people wanting to dress up like a slut. People find a way to dress up like sluts. I keep saying people, trying to be people, because men can dress like sluts too. When men buy muscle-tight tops and we wear grey joggers, that's us yearning for attention. So whether it is they want attention, whether it's the one night of the year where they can feel like they can just be unadulterated sexy, let them do it. I'm not against it. You want to dress and feel sexy, you dress and feel sexy. And then the other one was your favorite and least favorite Halloween costumes. Off the top of my head, I don't think, no, here we go. Least favorite, anything with blackface. Simple as that. I don't care what your excuse is. Don't do blackface. If you are a white guy and you want to be Falcon from the Avengers, just wear the outfit. Who are you? I'm Falcon, but Falcon's black, but I wasn't going to wear whiteface. I wasn't going to wear blackface, but I like Falcon, so I'm Falcon. I don't think anyone's going to have an issue with that. You might find someone somewhere will have an issue. Okay, I understand the time we're in now. If a black person just don't put on your face. Just wear the clothes, and you're fine. Don't dress up like Django. I feel like that should be common sense. Anything racist or homophobic or transphobic, just homophobic and transphobic, anything LGBTQ plus phobic. I swear I've missed a letter. If I have, I apologize. But I remembered the plus. I'm sure the plus is like addition, like everyone else. LBGTQ plus. I missed one. But you know what? I've tried gay community. So forgive me. But yeah, that's my favorite. No, that's my, worst. That's my worst costume. Favorite costume is anyone that has gone above and beyond. Anyone that's gone above and beyond. If you've done the face paint to make it look like your whole face is peeling off or you've got a real mouth on your neck, if your costume looks like it was straight off the set of the movie, I am all for it. Homemade costumes, depending on how good they look, it's homemade, I understand, but homemade costumes, I'm a fan. Apart from racist costumes, homophobic costumes, sexist, I don't know how you have a sexist costume, I'm sure someone will find them somewhere, but yeah. Apart from that, it's any costume that lacks effort. So like what I'm wearing now, if I just like put a Jason mask on or a Freddy mask or a Saw mask, it doesn't make sense because that's not what he wears. You've literally just gone out to Pound World, brought a cheap mask, put it on your head just so you can get into this house party and because someone said if you're not dressed up, you can't get in. No, half-assed costumes are a no, and bad like racial, sexist, homophobic costumes are also a no. Just get them the F out of here. Hopefully I've explained that. Let me see how long we've been on this Halloween subject for. Yeah, man. We've got a few more. Who comes up with the ideas of disturbing ideas in a horror film? Well, I'm on camera now, so I'm not going to say it. White people. I think my neighbour shared out white people, but I think it is. And people are gonna be like, what about Jordan Peele? Sure, he's mixed race, so he has white in him. That's where I'm drawing it at. No, who does? I think it's, I don't know. Listen, some of the films I've watched, I don't know who thought, like, how did you think of that whole like things like Inception, like how did you think of that whole concept? So horror movies, I think a lot of them come from like folk tales, things that have happened. Like like I mentioned earlier with ghosts, look at the amount of people that have told you that they've been haunted. That's your movie right there. Oh, you've been haunted. What happened? Okay, I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna add a little twist. So he said he got haunted. Let's say they moved everything around, they did this and they did that. So that's where they come from. Some of the more creative ones, like Wrong Turn. I imagine maybe an American went somewhere. Wrong Turn. Is it Wrong Turn? Wrong Turn. I'm sure it's Wrong Turn. I heard about this on a podcast I was listening to the other day. I'm sure it's Wrong Turn or one of The Hills of Eyes, one of them kind of films, and it's based on a real story. I think it's Wrong Turn because it was a real story of like a real inbred family that lived way out in the sticks in like caves, were kidnapping people, torturing them, and killing them, and eating them or doing whatever. And I'm sure it was a Scottish guy that escaped and called the police, and the police came and arrested. You know what? I feel like some people are going to be listening to this now and they're going to be like, Myles, that sounds so interesting. You need to let us know more. So I'm going to see if I can Google it and find out all of that stuff in a moment for you. And then we're coming to an end to our Halloween special. So I hope you've got some enjoyment out of this. Another topic we got asked, which I've been thinking about for all this time and I've never thought to Google it and find out why do we carve pumpkins? I couldn't tell you. I don't know what pumpkins have to do with Halloween. I don't know why we carve them. I didn't know. I don't know why they're called jack-o'-lanterns. I don't know if a pumpkin is a jack-o'-lantern or if you need I didn't know. So I Googled it because I wanted to make sure. So I'm going to read word for word what I found out about why we carve pumpkins and why they're called jack-o'-lanterns. So the origin comes from an Irish myth about Stingy Jack. Jack is someone who tried to trick the devil for his own monetary gain. When Jack died, God didn't allow him into heaven and the devil didn't allow him into hell, so Jack was sentenced to roam the earth for eternity. In Ireland, people started to carve demonic faces out of turnips to frighten away Jack's wandering soul. When Irish immigrants moved to the US, they began carving jack-o'-lanterns from pumpkins as they were native to the region. So when I did some research, Jack-o'-lantern is short for Jack of the Lantern. So from the different bits that I was reading, Jack, I don't know what his last name was. The story is Jack was in a bar or was friends with the devil, and Jack went to the bar with the devil and he told the devil to turn himself into a coin so he could pay for his drink. Devil turned himself into a coin. He took the coin and put it in his pocket. In his pocket, he had a silver cross, which meant the devil couldn't transform back. So Jack said, you have to promise not to take my soul and I'll move the cross and you can do this. And the devil was like, okay, I promise I will not take your soul. So Jack did that because he tricked him. So he was like, I don't want the devil to get his own back on me. And then, oh, sugar, what was the next one? The next one was something to do with a tree. Something to do with something being in a tree. And Jack sent the devil up in a tree and then carved a cross in the tree so that the devil couldn't come down. And then Jack said to the devil, if you promise to leave me alone for 10 years, I'll etch out the cross in the tree so you can get down. The devil agreed. After that, I don't think the devil had anything to do with it, but Jack died. So because Jack was mischievous and hung around with the devil, God didn't accept him. And because he played so many tricks on the devil, and because he made the devil promise not to take his soul, the devil couldn't take his soul, therefore couldn't accept him into hell. So he was just left roaming. Is it purgatory? Is that what you would call heaven? Between heaven and hell's purgatory. So he was wandering purgatory. The Irish, again, they only had turnips. They started carving them into turnips. They would call it Jack of the Lantern because it was a lantern used to scare away Jack. Jack of the Lantern became Jack-o'-lantern. Because the Irish immigrants moved to America, they didn't have turnips or they didn't grow turnips. I'm assuming this is back in the 1800s, I think it was. They didn't grow turnips. They grew pumpkins wherever the Irish happened to go. So they started carving them into pumpkins and it took off. It took off from there. So there you go, guys. That's why we carve lanterns. And then that had me going into, I was like, oh, the Irish started it. Because I looked at the history of jack-o'-lanterns, I was then like, well, what is the history of Halloween? So again, I'll be as quick as I can. Halloween is a holiday celebrated never mind. The tradition originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. It's Samhain. It's not spelt like that. It's spelt Samhain. But I think, when you go on Google and it breaks it down for you like you're a child and tells you how to pronounce it, I'm sure it was Samhain. And this is when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor all saints. So eventually this day was incorporated with some of the traditions of Samhain. So then what happened is the evening before the 1st of November was known as All Hallows Eve, and later on Halloween, and then over time Halloween evolved into a day of activities like trick-or-treating, carving jack-o'-lanterns, festive gatherings, and donning costumes. So when you think about it, hear me out now, people. It originated with people wearing costumes to ward off ghosts. If you think about ghosts, whenever you think about ghosts, you always think about it's like a ghost from like the 18 or 19th hundreds. So really old-fashioned ghosts that are probably like stuck in their old-fashioned ways and don't believe women have rights and that women should do things and dress in a certain way. So maybe, just maybe, dressing up as a slut would annoy the ghosts and scare them away like, heathen, wench. And they're the only words I could think of. I can't remember what they used to, hussy, Jezebel. I feel like they're the discriminative words I can think of that women were called in the olden days. So yeah, maybe that's why people dress like sluts. So maybe it's actually more fitting than dressing like Mario or an Avenger. So there you go, ladies that like to dress like sluts. You keep scaring off those old-fashioned ghosts and spirits. So boom, that has brought me to the end of our Halloween special. Let me see if I can quickly find out if it's Wrong Turn, which is the true story. It's popped up on my tablet saying true story. So hopefully. Right, here we go. While not directly stated to be inspired by the... Okay, hold on a minute. I'm gonna click into it. If you're listening, I apologize that you just stood there listening. Yes, So, the Wrong Turn movie franchise found some inspiration from the legend of a real man who was rumoured to be a cannibal in Scotland during the 16th century. I knew I was right when I said something about there being 7th. Hold on a minute. Yeah, so, right, the thing I clicked on literally had one sentence on it, and that was that. But there you go. So Wrong Turn was based on a story in Scotland of a man that lived out in the woods or whatever who used to be a cannibal. I'm going to try and find the actual story, and I'm going to post a link on my Instagram. So if you're not following already, Instagram, Twitter, at MylesHighClub Podcast. Don't forget to like this video, comment on this video. I do reply to all comments because I get like 3 at the minute, but there we go. And if you're watching this and you haven't already, please do subscribe to the MylesHighClub Podcast. But that is all for my Halloween special. If you are going out this weekend for Halloween, stay safe, stay healthy, stay slutty if that's your thing. Dress however you want to dress. Let me know your Halloween ideas. If there's any parties, I might try and like show my face or just buy a Halloween mask and just stand at your window, in front of your window, and not say anything to anyone, and then when someone comes, just run off and hide. But that's all from the MylesHighClub Podcast. I will see you all next week. I'm done.